Welcome everyone, it's Deb. I'm at my home today and I'm here to show you a new product by the Gypsy Quilter called Seam Guide Washi Tape. And it is on a roll here and it just peels off. There's lots of it, as you can see, 10 meters of it. And I'm just gonna roll it on itself there. And I've unrolled some already and I have stuck it to my tray. What's nice here is on my tray, the Bernina trays, the newer ones, have all of these lines already on it. So I kind of line them up with my center and 1/4 inch there, and then also lined it up with my needle. So if I put my needle down, I'll lift my foot up though, so you can see, you can take a straight edge, like a ruler, and have a level line with your stitch plate and then butt it up against the needle, and you can see there I've got it nicely lined up with the center. See, it's going to be off a bit because your needle is wider than that edge of the ruler, and then you're ready to use it. Now, how would I use this? I can use this just for piecing by running my fabric right along that line. If you want to be scant, you might want to pull it in a bit, and I do recommend you test it on your machine. Every machine is different where their center needle position is. But if you run it with the tape, you should be really close. Of course, we like a scant 1/4 inch because thread takes up space. So if you go too full, you're going to find you'll have too much of a seam. So I would audition that. Try it both on the line and just inside that line, and then measure it with your ruler and see what that looks like. Now, the other thing we can do is we make lots of half square triangles. This one I figured out, this is a 4-inch square, so you can see how it will fit on my tray. If your tray's shorter, you're not going to be able to get the full length in. Those of you who have plexiglass trays, though, will have a lot of distance here as well, so you can go larger squares. But this is a 4-inch one. I don't do a lot probably bigger than that, other than the 5-inch ones from Charm Squares. So that one is 4. This one's a 3-inch, so just to let you see. Now, normally what we would do is we would mark a line down the middle and stitch on either side of that line, or mark both lines. What I like to do here is I can take my point and have it, and I would just have it just on the inside of that white line, and then eyeball. You can get really straight here. You can still run this kind of up and go in, and then double check that you are okay on that point, like that, okay? And the big idea is straight sewing. So I've got this lined up, and I'm going to, now what I've done here, that's another thing I'll do for you so you can see better, is I can go into my machine, hit the machine icon, hit the light icon, and I can turn this off and still sew, which works great for a camera view when you want to see this. And the other thing I'm gonna do, so I'm telling, it's got my 97D, which is my piecing foot, so I had to tell my machine that. And I've got my 0 stitch plate in, and then what I'm going to change is so here's, I've got other ways to change this, but this is my presser foot pressure. So it's a little weight on a foot, that's the indicator there. And I usually go down to anywhere between 30 and 35 when I'm doing any of this stuff. It really helps feed, even with my dual feet. So I'm going to start sewing, and then I'm just guiding that tip along the inside, just on the inside of that edge.
I'm making this hard for you.
No, that's okay. I'm looking over top. We're good. Okay, and I'll press. Okay, I'm going to take that one off, because that was the 2-inch one. Okay, so now there's my center. That would have been my center line mark, and I'm stitched away from that. So now I can go into it and do it. So if I go in this way, that was that side. If I turn it this way and run the point, now I can do it that way. Or I can use the other line here. Oops. And work, I've turned it right around. And run the point that way, okay, on this 1/4 inch line, and then it will go on the other side of that. So I would go this way.
All right, so it's a 1/2 inch away from the other one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So then you're, and again, straight. I didn't do straight there because I think I was leaning over top of it. This one might be a bit better. Okay, and cut that. And then I would just cut right down the middle. And I'm ready to, and we've got lots of other videos on how to make those half squares with slotted trimmers, but that's how you can use the tape for those. And the other way you can use the tape, you know those little, this is just one little sample. This is 1.5 inch square on a corner. Okay, and oftentimes we're marking that or eyeballing it. But what you can do here is put your needle down, and so put the, oops, caught that already. Put the point of your needle at the tip of that, okay? And on these ones, what you can do is slightly move it just past the inside of that tip, and then you'll be scant here. That lets your corner actually meet really, really well with your points there. So what I would do is set it down, and then I might just have this line just, not much. Can you see how little? Like instead of right there, just a little bit over, and then I can stitch, and all I have to do is watch that line, okay? Because that will keep me straight. And then I can cut it. Okay, no marking, and then when I flip it out, look at that.
Nice.
So I don't like to mark. I'm kind of lazy, so if I can find ways. I used to do the folding thing where I'd fold them all and go to the ironing board and press them, so I had a line, but this is even quicker. The other way you can do it is you've got your binding strips, so the one is face down, and then on top I can go into my machine, again put the needle down. I'm using my knee lift a lot here, which I love to lift that presser foot. And that lets me really get it positioned well. And now I've got the one underneath, I've got lined up there, and I'm gonna have to move that over just a bit. So I can start sewing, and actually I can do it like this way for a little bit. You see how that would work? So you would just keep that point going, and then you can slide that down, and you can keep, if you're not able to, or find it awkward to keep going, I can do that right till almost the end. Can you see how I'm, and then I'm going to lift that, put it down, and then I'm going to sew right through. And you should be able to sew that straight. And then we have our, look how nice that is.
Nice.
Done. So that is the new Seam Guide washi tape by Gypsy Quilter. Love their products. Thanks everyone. And we will see you soon.